Page 6, Forgotten Postcards. I'm going to go through my routine for learning a new piece of music, and you can follow along, whatever. Hopefully I cover everything, more or less correctly. 2 pages long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. Again, the key is C major. Make sure you can do the C major scale and the A minor scale. Probably ought to be doing them at least 2 octaves up and down if you get to this level. 4/4 time signature. We got 1/8 notes all over the place. I want to take it one hand at a time, make sure I understand what each hand is up to. So the right hand, you're here. It's 1 and 2. And the rest come down. Come down again. Cross over. Reach up. You do it again. Okay. Measure 9 broken chords. 1 and 2 and 1 and oh, this is fun. And later you go down. And later. And then, oh, okay. Measure 20. Well, measure 19 you're here. 1 and 2. And during the rest of measure 20, come up here. Now, a measure 21 is just a half beat rest. So you got to come down here quick. So starting at measure 19 again, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 4 and 1. And see, watch the rest because there's not the same. And on measure 22, I suggest 4th finger on the last note. This way your 3rd finger is ready to go on. If I use 3rd finger, I can do it with a 2-5 on measure 23. But if I just use 4th finger on the last note on measure 22, then the 3 is ready. And then going on from measure 24. If you use 4 and 5 here, then your 3rd finger's ready. If you use 3 and 5, then you got to use 2 and then 5. I want to connect everything at first, and I want a fingering that works connected, and that's what I'm doing this. So I have a choice. I can do 2-5, or I can do a 4 here and then 3. And then the chords at the bottom, you can't connect these. They're chords. That's all right. Hopefully you can go down and up one key without looking at the keyboard. It's a good practice. So if you can't, try and do this without looking at the keyboard. This part of it. You got to look at the keyboard for some of this other stuff, but hopefully not the chords. Left hand, well, you're starting all the way down here doing a whole lot of nothing. Then measure 5, you're up here. Measure 6, come up, and then come up again, and then up here. And then down. I would suggest for measure 8. Here, you're closer to where you want to be. If I use 2 and 4, I'm farther away. So if I can do here, 1 and 3 here, then I'm closer to where I want to be. I can do a 2 and 5 there if I want. Then measure 9, you get treble clef up here. Bass clef, treble clef. Well, you can already tell this is going to be fun. And the fingering you use up here is up to you. Just finger it. And now measure 12 here. Going to measure 13, I'm going to use 4 here. I can do 2-5 here. Also, I can connect them both. Treble clef, bass clef. So the left hand is going crazy, which helps that the right hand isn't doing just broken chords. At the bottom of page 7, the last 2 measures you're here, you just lift up and come up. There's no rest or anything, just lift up and come up. How you finger it is up to you, because you got to come back down. When I have to come down or forward, I try and find a fingering that helps me get closer. So it's here. So maybe use 2nd finger here, because then my hand is here and I got to go to here, here to here. If I do it here, my hand is here and I got to go to here. So I can go here to here or here to here. The point is I'm a little closer. So instinctively I just do that. That's a habit I have. Finger it however you want. Put the hands together. Here I'm just trying to get a feeling of how it feels when the notes are going down and the hands at the same time. Go down to measure 9 where the fun starts. You're here. You gotta rest because you gotta move. Well, here, but now there's no rest. I just lift up and move. Probably as I play that note, I'll get down there. Don't take a lot of time to get down there. Just take the time you need, but no more. You see? But going up isn't so bad because you gotta rest. That middle section's a tricky part. Once I have an idea of the hands working together, then I go back over the hard parts or all of it, whatever, and I get rid of any hesitation so it's a steady beat. It can be slow, it doesn't matter. But it's got to be steady eighth notes. No hesitations anywhere. All the way through. Because I can speed it up later. I just don't want any hesitations. It's a steady beat. And then I think about the articulation. Well, this is all connected. Just connect everything as best you can. If you want to lift up between the phrases in the right hand, it's up to you. At the end of the first line, you get rest, you have to lift up. That's fine. Measure 22, you're up here. Lift up. It's a new phrase. Lift up. This is how you can get away with using the same fingering, but I still want a fingering that works connected, so even though I'm lifting up, I'm still going to use the fingering that I worked. Lift up. Lift up. Now here you have to lift up, but try and connect them as best you can. Then once I have the articulation, I think about the dynamics. Mostly the right hand. Mezzo piano, sort of soft. Gentle, and then when you get to measure 9, you go up a little bit to mezzo forte. It's going to be more for the right hand. These broken chords, keep them soft. Because if you don't keep these soft, it's a mess. It's just a mess. So keep these broken chords in the background. We want to hear the left hand here. Go down at the top, measure 18, excuse me. Go down to mezzo piano for 19. Soft, measure 20. It's a little louder. Soft. Measure 23, mezzo forte. Left hand's in the background. Mezzo piano. And at the end, you're going to come soft. And all the time I'm doing this, at the end, I want to hear that. Don't drown it out. And so this is sort of mezzo piano somewhere in there, almost piano, almost soft, and this is very soft. Don't use the soft pedal, that's cheating. You got to learn to have this control in the hands. You just kind of gently stroke the keys. Nice and loose wrist, just gently stroke the keys. How soft can you play? And this is something you practice on when you're doing scales. How soft can you play a scale? To practice playing scales super duper soft. It's good control. You should practice loud too. Just don't drive anybody out of the place. But also very soft. As far as the speed goes, well, they give you a metronome. Tenderly is gentle. That's not a speed, it's a mood. But a lot of times in music, where they're supposed to tell you how fast, instead they tell you the mood of the piece, and from that you decide how fast. Tenderly, how fast you want to be tender, it's up to you. There's metronome suggestions up there. To you. Remember, it's the overall feel and flow of the piece we're talking about. It's not necessarily the speed of the beat, just the flow of the piece. Of course, when they give you metronome markings, that's the beat, but again, it's the feel of it. However fast you go, just be tender about it, that's all. Now they've added pedal. And we certainly use some help with the pedal because we can't connect everything we need to connect. Then the pedal add the overtones, and it's going to be overlapping pedal. I'm going to push the notes down first and then the pedal. And I'm going to change the pedal after I play the note. Okay, something like that. And that will help like a measure 9 because now we get... This pedal throughout, that's fine. I could make suggestions on the pedal. You have to listen very carefully to the effect the pedal is having to the sound. You might want to lift it up. You want to hear some phrasing, you lift the pedal up for it. Otherwise, you connect it. Now, there's some retardandos in here. You can figure those out on your own, I'm sure. The natural accents, you got to have a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, you feel these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. You have to exaggerate them at first, but eventually you just want to feel them. It's so important throughout this, all the music you're playing. Let's play this together very slowly. I'll give us 4 counts. I'm not going to do any pedaling, and I'm not going to do the dynamics because you can hear the notes better without all that. If you have to, just one hand at a time. Just checking to make sure you have the right notes at the right time, and that's all this is for. 1 and 2 and ready and go and 1 and